Shabbat Shalom.
Hi, Shabbat Shalom.
Welcome to another Sabbath with our family on our channel is the Fig Tree Generation. I almost forgot the name of our channel just now. The Fig Tree Generation. We need to do a video on the Fig Tree Generation.
We should.
I've said that multiple times because I think it's important to understand, and kind of our understanding of the Fig Tree Generation has changed just in the last probably year or 2 years or so. So it would be important to kind of share, what we think about all that.
I think so. I think that would be good.
But this is a really short video. We just wanted to get on and talk about Tzitzits. And the reason for it really is because we know there's so many new Torah believers who are coming into the flock and in the fold, coming back to the Father's ways, realizing that all these ways, that these crazy things that Yah wrote so long ago, that he told his servant Moshe and all his other servants, these crazy things. Isaiah says it's they accounted my Torah as a strange thing.
Yes.
And, I think, all these people are coming back to him and saying, oh, maybe we should follow them. Maybe we should do them. And I think Tzitzits are, to me, they're so important, strictly really because of why they were given. Tzitzits were given because the Sabbath was given to Yah's people. By the way, Yah's people is Israel and the stranger that sojourns with them. And there were some Egyptians, there were all kinds of people who desired to keep Yah's ways and desired to obey the Father.
Right.
But Yah's people were given Sabbath, and they neglected the Sabbath. They went and gathered sticks and did their thing and totally neglected Sabbath. And right after he gave it to them, and then that's when the commandment for Tzitzits was given, to help them remember. So I think what, the real reason kind of we wanted to do this video, because there's a lot of new people coming into Torah. And I know when I was brand new coming into Torah, I was looking at people and trying to investigate these things as I would read them, because laws would come up and I didn't know, should I keep this? Is this a Jewish thing? Because it definitely seems like a Jewish thing.
Yeah.
Because you see Jews all the time wearing the tassels,
Well, wearing the coverings, right?
Yeah, the tallits and all that stuff. Right. Yeah, and so
it seems like it could be just a Jewish tradition.
Yeah. So when I ran across it in the Word, I really wanted to know, are we supposed to be doing this? Is this a commandment? How should I do this?
Yeah.
And but as I learn to wear them, it's become so special to me. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And all it is just a reminder to keep the commandments. So the commandment for Tzitzits is found in Numbers 15, also in Deuteronomy 22:12. But Numbers 15,
And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations, and that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah, and do them, and that ye seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go a whoring, that ye may remember and do all my commandments, and be holy unto your Elohim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I am Yahuwah your Elohim.
That's amazing. It specifically says that you remember to do the commandments. There is something about every morning, when I get up, and when we get up, we put these on. Yeah. We put these Tzitzits on and put them on our clothes. There's something about that, because every single morning I put them on and I pray, help me not to transgress your covenant.
Right.
Help me not to sin. Give me the strength to not. By the way, sin's transgression of the Torah. We all know, whether you're a Christian or whatever you might be, we all think and we know, wow, we shouldn't sin. That's transgressing the Torah. So help me not to transgress your Torah. Yeah. Help me to remember that. And there's something about having these weird fringes on your clothes and walking around.
It sets you apart.
Yeah, you're set apart. Yeah, it stands out.
It physically sets you apart.
Yeah.
Something that it's a physical eye catch. I mean, I don't know if you hide. I mean, not hide it, but some people might put them in their pocket.
I used to
conceal them.
I used to put them, try to hide them because
it was just for
I
you.
didn't want to be. It was for me, and I didn't want to have it a proud thing.
Yeah.
It truly was helping me not sin, but I didn't want people to see it and think, oh, this guy's whatever he is. I didn't want it to be seen. But now I want it to be a light. So now I do wear them outside my clothes.
Yeah. It's just like I think a T-shirt or
Yeah,
something.
sure.
But it's actually commanded. Whereas we might have worn. I had T-shirts in Christianity. I have T-shirts now that proclaim my belief, that proclaim who I believe in. And it's like a proclamation.
Yeah. It's the actual scriptural WWJD bracelet.
Yes, it is.
It's what we're supposed to do. Yeah. Yeshua himself wore it. It's in Matthew 7, I think, or Matthew 8. I can't remember. Luke 8. It's also in John. Yeah. This is the fringes on his garment that the woman touched to be healed of her blood issue.
Yes.
This is what our Savior did.
Yes.
Yahushua HaMashiach. Yeah, that's how he walked. He kept the commandments fully.
Yeah.
So this is a commandment to do. So if you're new to Torah, this is what's amazing. This is an incredible commandment. It's not just like do this and that's it. There's actually some little specifics in here that are amazing. Something amazing in verse 38. It tells the children, it bids them to make these fringes.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people sell Tzitzits. You can buy them. I don't know that there's a problem with that. I'm not judging anybody who sells Tzitzits or wears ones they bought somewhere.
Yeah.
But I think there's something to making them.
Yeah.
You make these and you sit down and actually figure out how to knot them yourself and do them yourself. It means something, right?
Yeah, it does.
I think it's very meaningful because you're doing something that is outside this world's understanding. Even the own Jews' understanding. You're making these, and you're doing something as you're making them. You're like, I'm making this so I keep the commandments, so I keep the Torah of my Elohim, my Father. I want to remember to do that.
Yeah.
So this is also found in Deuteronomy 22:12, which has got some interesting things, especially in the Targum. So the Targum goes kind of in more of detail about this. The Targum is just a translation. There's an Aramaic Targum and also a Jerusalem Targum. The Jerusalem, in my belief, the Jerusalem has a little bit of rabbinic teachings that are kind of inside there. That can be a good and bad thing.
What does that mean, like rabbinic, for somebody who is new to
that would just be stuff that was passed down through the rabbis.
Right. Traditions passed down.
Sure, we as Christians are like, oh no, nothing rabbinic. But in all reality, getting closer to the source is probably better.
Yeah.
We use a Bible that was heavily penned by the Roman scribes.
Yeah.
I don't want anything from Rome. We got to try to get away from Rome, I think.
Yeah.
So if we really want what was written down by Moshe, I think we got to get closer to the source.
Absolutely.
But the Aramaic Targum is absolutely amazing in this. And that's so Numbers 15 in the Aramaic Targum. It says, and Yahuwah said unto Moshe, speak with the sons of Israel and bid them make for themselves fringes, not of threads, nor of yarns, nor of fibers, but after a manner of their own shall they make them, and shall cut off the heads of their filaments and suspend by 5 ligatures, 4 in the midst of 3 upon the 4 corners of the garment, in which they enwrap themselves unto their generations, and they shall put upon the edge of their robes an embroidery of hyacinth. Hyacinth. Okay, so the Aramaic Targum is kind of interesting because it tells you no threads. It says no ribbons. It's saying to do it of your own. So I guess whatever you grow. I mean, if you like we said on this before, the Torah. Actually, all of Scripture is almost like a homestead manual. Right. It's all about getting you back to the ancient path, which the ancient path didn't include grocery stores and and all these other things, these conveniences that we're so used to now. It's actually getting back to the land and growing things yourself. So I don't know. So I'm kind of learning just reading some of these things, rereading it for this video. I'm kind of like saying, maybe I should start thinking about other kind of forms of Tzitzits rather than just having threads or something else.
Like, would wool be an example? Like, if since we grow our own, we raise our own sheep, would wool be something?
Sure, you might be able to do that.
Like spin it, but it spins into yarn, so I don't know.
You could do that. The only thing I would say to that is in Deuteronomy 22, the Tzitzits command comes right after.
Not mixing fabrics.
Yeah, not mixing fabrics, wool, specifically wool and linen.
Yeah.
And it does say within the Aramaic Targum in Deuteronomy, it does say this can be on a robe of wool. I mean, robe of linen.
Okay.
So if you're putting fringes of wool on linen, I don't think that would work. But it could be something else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. There's a lot of interesting things.
There is instructions on how to do it.
Sure.
And how to do it yourself. And that's found in the Aramaic Targum. Are the instructions on how to do it in just the canon itself? Are they in the Torah? Like how to specifically
one specific thing is make it yourself.
Yeah.
Another thing specific is to have a ribbon of blue within it. So this would be the hyacinth, which is more of a kind of a purplish color. Yeah. It's a purplish blue. Here, this is the Tzitzits that I wear, and I hook them on the corners, the four corners of my garments. That's another command. It has to be on the four corners of your garments. Some people put four fringes on it. Our modern day shirts, I mean, they have a seam right here, and so the two corners come together, so you could hook fringes right there.
Right, which would make two on each, right? So that would make four corners.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So you could do fringes right on the corners. Also, something with the American Indians, you look at any of the older pictures of them, they have fringes on their garments. And these are the lost tribes of Israel. Not sure which tribe. But they are the lost tribes, and we got Cherokee in us.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of you do too. Most people do.
I feel like every time I meet somebody, no matter what part of the country, they're like, I've got Indian in me.
Sure.
I
honestly think this is the mixing of the clay and the iron in Daniel. Very interesting. But there's the mixture. But so this, you want to show them?
Yeah, so this is what mine looks like. It's two that I wear. So my sweater actually splits. It has a split seam. And so I would, I hook it there. So I have two here and I have two on the other side.
Yeah.
And
so these are some of the new, I usually wear what she wears too. I have those as well that I've made. But these are leather, which it can have, whatever colors you want, as long as it has blue. Hyacinth, blue or a purplish color. This may be, even reading the Targum, it kind of sounds like maybe it is the actual flower. Hyacinth. So I would be totally okay growing hyacinth and putting those in.
Well, you could use the color.
Our neighbor has some. Maybe I could go pick it.
But you could take the color of it to actually dye.
Sure. Yeah.
Whatever fabric you do use. Same thing with flax. So I mean, we know linen comes from flax, right? And the flax, or flaxseed, linen seed, and that flower that it produces is blue.
Yeah.
So I only know this because we grew this one year.
Yeah.
But you could take those flowers and then, use it as a concentrated dye, like a natural dye.
Yeah, but just I totally agree with you. But just reading the Targum, it wants you to get back. Yah's trying to get you to love the land that He's given you, trying to get back to the land.
Yeah. And if you do it that way, then it is a reminder of the Torah, but it's also a reminder of His blessings,
his
provision on the land by physically having something from it attached to your.
You start doing that. You start, planting hyacinth or flax or whatever you need to make your Tzitzits. You're going to remember your first fruits. You're not going to forget your first fruits, your Shavuot. There's just so much to it. It's just a beautiful commandment. Is it the only commandment that's like actually telling you to go make something? Yeah. To go like be a homesteader, to go
arts and crafts.
Yeah, arts and crafts. Like it's an amazing commandment. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. So is there anything else specific about it? You said so.
I love
fringes,
this. Yeah, I love this is and that they seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you used to go whoring. Like it's like, stop trying to do your own thing and seek the traditions of man. Stop it. Yeah. Like, stop doing Christmas. Stop doing Easter. Stop doing, Sunday worship. Yeah. Keep the Sabbath. Like, do the things that Yah wrote down. Yeah. All these other things are not written in your Bibles. Yeah. There is no Sunday worship. There is no Christmas or Easter. It's not in your scriptures. Right. Yah did not write it down for us to do. And it's all about getting back to Him. Getting away from this world and the comforts of this world. Yeah, I just think it's incredible. Yeah.
And it's funny because, this reminds me where, it's a symbol, and it's in remembrance of his commandments, and not to seek after your own heart and your own eyes. But I think too, we think about when he says to remember his ways, remember his Sabbaths, remember, don't profane the Sabbath. Don't, go after the lusts of your heart and your flesh on the Sabbath.
Yeah.
And so I think we know that, but, and I sometimes forget to put mine on. In all honesty, I do. Yeah. I forget to put mine on, but
which will bring us to our next point. But go ahead.
Which will bring us to our next point. Good almost a good segue. But I think what you said that you've done with, like, when you put them on, you almost like just in earnest, like to the Father, saying like, please help me to remember, help me to keep your commandments. We know that we even still regard them, we still transgress them, we don't keep them perfectly. But I love that there's a physical sign to help us to keep the Sabbath, to not profane his ways and to seek after our own desires, but to truly seek after his ways, his set apart ways.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I mean, every morning, like I said, when I'm putting these on, I say a prayer, help me out. And I can't tell you how many times I've been somewhere and an evil thought pops in my head, or I desire to do something I'm not supposed to do. Because I'm a man, I'm flesh.
Yeah.
This is what we're made of, and we're constantly bombarded with Hasatan and the trials and tribulations he wants to throw us in. I can't tell you how many times that I've been like that, and I've remembered, I got my tzitzits on. Don't sin. Don't transgress. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's the whole duty of man, right? To keep the commandments. We all can agree, let's not sin.
Yeah.
Even if you're a Christian, you don't think we should keep the law, you definitely agree we should not sin. Yeah. So let's not sin. Let's not transgress the law. Yeah. Let's not transgress the Torah.
Yeah.
So something else that's amazing, I just wanted to read real quick. This is the Jerusalem Targum, and the same in Numbers 15. And it says, "And this shall be to you a precept for fringes, that you may look upon them at the time when you dress yourself daily, and remember all my commandments to do them, and not go aside to wonder at the imaginations of your heart and the sight of your eyes, after which you have gone astray." This is amazing. "To the end that you may remember and perform all my precepts, and be holy, like the angels who minister before Yahweh your Elohim. I am Yahweh your Elohim, who have delivered and brought you free out of the land of Mitzrayim, to be to you Eloah. I am Yahweh your Elohim." I love that. He's like, I want you to be holy like the angels.
Yes.
I'm not so sure the angels are wearing tzitzits, because tzitzits specifically was given to man because of sin. Yeah. Man, most of our commandments are.
Yeah, they were given to the children of Israel.
Yeah, specifically because we're sinners.
Yeah.
And the angels being holy, I don't know that they have to wear tzitzits. Who knows? But we're sinners. We need to. Yes. We need to wear them. Yes. So the point we were going to also talk about is it's within Deuteronomy. Mm-hmm. 21? I guess it's right here. I don't know what verse that is.
Okay.
It's in the first part of Deuteronomy.
Oh, it's in the first part. Okay.
And this is, you want to read it?
Sure. This is not in the Torah. We should say that, right? This is not in the...
Well, it's in the Torah, but not in the canon.
It's not in the canon.
Yeah.
Neither fringed robes nor tephilim, which are the ornaments of a man, shall be upon a woman. Neither shall a man shave himself so as to appear like a woman, for everyone who doeth so is an abomination before Yahuwah thy Elohim. So basically, the way that I have interpreted it is, it says no tzitzits for women.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, it does say no tzitzits for women. It does say on the robes of the tefillin. So I'm not sure, to be honest with you. We've kind of wrestled with this.
I'll speak to kind of.
Yeah, you're a woman. You might as well say so.
Well, I just started wearing tzitzits this year, so we've been walking this narrow path for over 5 years now. What I do want to first say is you haven't been wearing tzitzits from day one.
No, I had to read these things and search them out.
So I think that's important, because we've talked about this before. I've had these conversations with so many friends, like sisters, about how, and we talked about this actually in Acts 15, how, we have been given all of these commands, but it's like our eyes see them when, our eyes see them and our ears hear them, and they're given to us in the right season, the right timing. So like we weren't given Tzitzits as one of the first, second, third, or fourth command to keep. It was, let's keep the Sabbath and let's keep the feast days. And then we started looking at the dietary laws and stopped eating unclean, food, unclean animals.
This is the whole workout your own salvation.
This is being doers of the Torah, being doers of the word. And so we grow in our learning of his ways. And he has winked at our ignorance, and he has forgiven us where we've transgressed ignorantly. So I say that because this is not something that we were like, as soon as we walked into Torah, we were like, well, we certainly didn't look to the side of Judaism in the sense of how they keep the Torah, because we do know that there are traditions, like some of more, I guess, expanded ways of which they keep the Tzitzits and bigger and more flashy ways.
Yeah.
But we, when you got to that part, you thought, yes, like I need to be wearing this for all the reasons you just said. I did not feel compelled to wear them. And honestly, I would say it was confirmed for me at the time by the Targum not to wear them as a woman, that I didn't have to wear them. He needed them. I didn't. Honestly, it's probably what I thought. I was like, well, I read my Bible every day. I'm reading the Torah. It's the meditation of my heart. Like that is like I'm good. I don't need the Tzitzits. I truly believe that it was just for a man. And I think in the last year, again, as we're growing, you've been wearing them for how long do you think have you been wearing them?
Probably 4 years.
Yeah, 4 years. So it took you about a year.
It probably did, yeah.
To get there.
Yeah, it was probably by the time we did our, maybe less than that, because it was probably by the time we did our first Passover.
Okay.
So around there, so.
But this whole time I have not worn them, and I don't want to say that it's a conviction. I don't like that word. I feel like that's I think that's a churchianity kind of idea, because it is a command. And when you go back, if you take and we could read and dissect and have conversations about what the Targum says. If I go back to Numbers, Yahuwah speaks to Moses, telling him to speak unto the children of Israel. The children were comprised of men and women, not just men, not just children. And there was, I think the Ruach helped me, because we know Yeshua tells us that, he'll give us a set apart spirit. He'll give us the Ruach HaKodesh to help us understand what he's saying, to help us understand the Torah. And, I think that decision came to me this year, because I can't keep the law perfectly. Even I can't keep the Sabbath perfectly. And, but it doesn't mean I shouldn't try. And so I should be wearing the Tzitzits as a reminder to remember, his ways, to remember his instructions, to remember his commands. And when I read it, if I just read it, sometimes I think we can just get so too stuck in trying to figure out and dissect. And, if we just look at the literal verse in which Yahuwah says, speak to the children of Israel.
Yeah.
Speak to the women, the children, the men, speak to everyone. It's the whole body of believers, basically. Sure. Mm-hmm. This is what they're supposed to do, because they couldn't keep it. They couldn't keep the Sabbath. They couldn't keep his commands. They kept deviating from them. They kept walking away. They kept rebelling. And so he wanted to give them something, a gift, basically. And so I've just been being self-admitted here that I've just, started keeping them this year. And it doesn't make me holier or, more, I don't know. It helps me when I do. And sometimes I forget to put them on. I almost forgot to put them on today, just being completely honest. But because it's a learning process for me to see the value in them and to see why Yah gave them to me personally. But it does set me apart. It's a physical way of setting me apart when I'm out in the world. You look different in the world when you wear them.
It's almost like you're arming yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're going out, you do look different. It's just like when we didn't wear masks, when we didn't muzzle up.
Let's go there.
You were the only one. I mean, many of y'all know what I'm talking about. When you go in a grocery store, you're the only one not wearing a mask, and people will go, everyone looks at you, everyone. and it was amazing.
It was.
I felt like I was.
Well,
I
even
felt
when
like
you're-
I was some sort of warrior just for not
Even when you
muzzling
were
myself.
cursed at and called names.
Yeah, I mean, I got cussed out many times and kicked out of places many times. And it's so funny. Like, but the Tzitzits are very similar. You're wearing these things, reminding yourself, don't sin, don't sin, don't sin.
Yeah.
And you stand out.
Yeah.
And that's the whole point of it. The whole point of it is keep from sinning, and to not look like the other nations, to look totally different.
And to be holy, that's what he says. The
Yeah.
variant of that is to remember his commandments and to be holy, to be set apart.
Yeah, and like I said, like you said, it took maybe a couple years to really be like, oh, I need to be wearing Tzitzits and to put them on. And even reading this, there's some things in here that I'm like, man, maybe I should be making them differently. Maybe I should be growing the things that go into them, which I think is awesome. Not specific to the commandment, but just to make it more special, more special.
Yeah.
To make it more special to me and to Yah. It's the same thing with Passover. Our first Passover was the best we could do, Second was even better. And the last one, man, we did some things that were just like so scriptural. We're like, yes, this is awesome. And this one's going to be totally different. It's just because as we grow, we seek Yah in truth, in spirit and in truth.
Yes.
And we want to know the truth. That's all we're after. It's like, I just want to know the truth.
Yeah.
I want to figure out the calendar. I want to figure out these things, these questions,
Yes.
just to pursue him closer. But Tzitzits are incredible. You got to wear it. You have to wear them. If you're in Torah, put them on. Make some yourself. You can order them if you want.
Yeah, and if you don't know how to make them, you want us to do a video, let us know. We'll do a video.
Yeah, there are some videos on YouTube, but we could do one ourselves. I mean, it might be fun, but there are some on YouTube. If you don't know how to tie a knot, it's really simple.
Yeah.
You can tie a knot, make them yourself, put them on your clothes. You'll immediately be set apart from that moment. And every morning, just pray, Yah, keep me from sin.
Amen.
What an incredible commandment. This is amazing. I kind of want to go outside and harvest some stuff and make a different Tzitzit or something. But anyways, I hope you have a blessed Shabbat. And I guess we'll see you on the next video.
All right. See you later.
Shalom.
Shalom.